Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets. Today we're going to be doing a review of Trinity by Matt Wagner. Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets. As always, I'm your host, Brent Casina, and today we're going to be talking about this book, Trinity. This is the deluxe edition right here, giving you a review of the book. Now, I do have an overview video, so if you want to take a deeper look inside where I flip through all the art and some of the extras back here, there will be a link to that probably in the cards very soon, and also the end screen, so you can take a look at that as well. But let's talk about this book. What is it? Well, Trinity was a 3-issue miniseries published way back in the early 2000s, and it's written and drawn and I believe inked by Matt Wagner. So he doesn't do the colors, but he does some of the painted covers here. You got Dave Stewart on colors, yes, and Sean Conant on the letters. There's the double page spread in the intro here. So what is this book? This book is a retelling or a reimagination of the first adventure between the Trinity, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. And it even says their names, like that might be the official title of the book, which is Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. They're there on the spine. They're there underneath the front cover here. And I think on Comixology that's what it's labeled as too. But I prefer to call it Trinity. You know, so there are 3 books here, one for each character, right? And also 3 locations. So the first book takes place in Metropolis, second in Gotham, third in Themyscira with Wonder Woman. And it's a pretty neat narrative device to move locations because this adventure goes around the world and uses those locations wisely as the centerpieces of the story they're telling in each particular issue. Now, it is all one big story, so don't let me fool you to think that this is 3 individual stories. No, this is one big story. Superman and Batman are already friends, and Wonder Woman comes on the scene during this story. So the main villain here is a Batman villain. It's not like Mongol or Brainiac or whatever. It's Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul if you prefer, and Bizarro. So Ra's al Ghul has kind of taken over Bizarro, and he's using his evil scheme to further the world into, environmental obliteration for mankind so that the earth can start over, etc., etc. You enter in some Lazarus pits here and there, and then this kind of weird link that I've never seen before between Wonder Woman and the Lazarus pits. Since, in this version of the origin, this is pre-New 52, Wonder Woman was always and has kind of historically been made out of clay and then brought to life by the, granting a wish of the gods kind of thing. So Wonder Woman, encounters the Lazarus pit and has this really visceral reaction to being around it and entering one, and is saying there's a link between the life forces between the gods and the Lazarus pit, or her clay or something like that, because her clay came from the earth. So that was a really interesting link that happens in issue 3 that I've never seen before. So I think the only kind of downside to this book, I mean, I really enjoy it. The only downside is the main plot seems to have been foiled in issue number 2, and then issue number 3 is Ra's al Ghul going, well, they ruined my original plot, so I'm going to go attack Themyscira and make it my new home and subjugate all these Amazons, and they will be my new concubines kind of thing. And that's the end of the book. And it's well, I thought you had a bigger plan. But it's interesting seeing Superman and Batman, their friendship's already there. It's a little testy, of course, because it is Batman after all. But both of them reacting to Wonder Woman for the first time is cool. Wonder Woman can't stand Batman. She can't stand the way he operates and how violent he is and how kind of mean and all this other stuff. And then Bruce points out to her, which is the number one moment in this book for me, is a conversation between Clark Kent, Superman, and Wonder Woman, where they're talking about Batman, and Bruce kind of points out, hey, you've got to recognize that he doesn't have superpowers. He's doing this all from the force of will. And Superman says, if I didn't have powers, I don't know that I would be able to do what he does. So it's game recognized game kind of thing. Really, really neat moment. So they all have their individual bonding moments with each other. It's set up and paralleled really nicely. Really well done. There's kind of a thrown away plot here, with this mysterious Amazon that's helping Ra's al Ghul. She's got pink hair. We learn her name later in the book, but it's not. It's like a throwaway name. It's meant to be like a character that is in Wonder Woman's history, but nothing really is done with it to make me think like, oh, this is Artemis. Unless this is Artemis's true history. I have no idea. I haven't read that much Wonder Woman, or if I have, they keep changing the character. Here she is at the bottom here. She's got pink hair. But they're saying she's a member of this tribe, the Bana Migdal, which I have heard of before. When Wonder Woman, they're like these separatist tribe of the Amazons way back before the Amazons went to Themyscira. So they're kind of sisters, and she's helping Ra's. Artemis is helping Ra's for a little bit, and then all of a sudden grows a conscience when they go to Themyscira, and then kind of, turns around. Now, they never really do anything with this character. She's not explored. Her and Wonder Woman never meet. So it's kind of like, well, I guess she was there to be the villain for Wonder Woman, because you had a Batman villain, you have a Superman villain in Bizarro, and then you had to find a Wonder Woman villain. So they used Artemis instead of maybe like Cheetah or Circe, however you say that as well. But, all in all, I think this is a really solid book. I really like it. I'm a fan of sometimes of the more simplistic art style. And Matt Wagner definitely has his beautiful moments. He can definitely render out a beautiful city. But his art style, if you'll see on the opposite page over here, is very simplistic. He doesn't overdo a whole bunch of shadows. He doesn't overdo a bunch of hatching lines to indicate musculature or stress. It's all very classic comic book art in that way. Everything there is to serve a purpose, it seems like, and it's not overdone. Even to the point where, like, the colorist is adding little shadows and things, like the shadow on Wonder Woman's nose is not shading from Matt Wagner doing the art, not from the inks, but actually the colorist doing that here. And there's one other thing that's kind of weird, is like every time you see Superman's S or Bizarro's S, it's not actually inked, it's just colored in there, like he left it to the colorist. But on all the covers, there's a little thin black line or something, some solid color line to let you know that that was actually drawn. But for whatever reason, here's another example. Superman's S, no outline. It's kind of weird. So I was kind of left, but it's on the cape. It's on the cape though. So what's the deal, Matt Wagner? What's the deal? So I'm kind of wondering if you go find maybe the original art of this on the internet somewhere. There's another example. I'm just pointing out these little weird things. If he actually drew it and maybe a pencil line just didn't ink it, and the colorist colored over it. What the deal is? Like, here's a weird thing. No outline on this page. Is it focusing? And then on this page, there's that little black outline. So, not really sure what the deal is with that. But I do like this book. I do think it's worth a read. It's fun. And if you like a little, simplistic art style, if you're not like, hating Chris Samney or Javier Pulido, who's the other guy? Anyway, Pia Guerra, this kind of artist, I think you will really enjoy Matt Wagner. Matt Wagner got famous, I think, for doing his own creator-owned stuff, Mage, and then he was doing some DC work for a while. He did this miniseries, some covers for Batman. If you read the Under the Red Hood, he did the first arc of covers for that, the first 6 issues, and then he also did, there's 2 more miniseries, Batman and the Monster Man and Batman and the Mad Monk. And there are some underrated Batman stories that I think you should also read. There's 6 issues for each of those miniseries as well. So this book's pretty long, actually. For being 3 issues, they're all double or triple size. I think I opened up my iPad because I have one of the issues digitally, and I think it said 70 pages. So if there's 70-page issues, you're getting more than 60 issues of story. It's really 9, I guess technically, but the panels are so large. The art is simple. He uses a lot of space on these pages to tell his story, that you're kind of reading through it a little bit quicker than it would be if you're doing a 9-panel grid type thing in this many pages. So I get it. It's not a bad, like I said, it's not a bad deal. This book, if you can find it, retails for $29.99. could probably find it at a discount somewhere online, in stock trades or cheapgraphicnovels.com, maybe even Amazon. You never know. But I think Trinity is well worth a read. Very, very good. 4 stars from me. I really like this book. I've liked it every time I've read it. And reading it in this deluxe format was fun, you know? I don't have a whole lot of deluxe books, but when I do, I'm trying to make sure that they are stories I really, really like. And this is one of them. And this is something that I would give to loan out to friends or something and just be like, here's a great story between these 3 characters, and it gives you an idea of who each of these characters are. So I think it accomplishes that as well. The only downside is, like, when you're reading the narration boxes, they're not like colored to tell you who's talking. So like in Batman, Superman, or whatever, you would see red for Superman, blue for Batman, and maybe yellow for Wonder Woman when she was there. This one, even like the first letter is color sometimes to maybe give you an indication, but it's really all context clues when you're reading the narration boxes when they talk about he. Usually, typically, if it's Wonder Woman and Superman or Wonder Woman and Batman, you can tell, oh, that's Wonder Woman talking there. Or, you know, Clark and Bruce will talk about the other person using their code name or first name, or call him the alien or whatever. So there's a lot of context clues in the narration there to kind of give you an idea. And I think even one of them, in one of these books, maybe Batman, you don't see his thoughts. You see like just a third-party narrator talking about the Batman does this or thinks this, because it's kind of like walling you off from the character. I think that's what it is throughout this book. But all in all, really, really good. If you guys would like this video, it helps me out with the algorithm, it helps the channel grow. Comment, rate, subscribe, all that stuff. And please, please, please let me know if you like this book as well down below in the comments. I love talking to you guys down there. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time in the Funny Pages.